very delighted to welcome Michaela, Managing Director of H2C, who will share exclusive insights from their global AI and automation study. This is based on responses from over 180 hotel chains, and she's going to reveal where the industry truly stands on AI adoption, the barriers, the gaps, and of course the opportunities ahead. So over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very exciting to be here, and really looking forward to sharing the results with you. As pointed out, we have done a study on AI and automation, and we have not only done it globally, but we have also done it regionally. So, and I would like to present to you some regional results today regarding the Middle East and Africa region. And by the way, there is a download available for the official report, but I'm sharing today also some details that are not available. And we can discuss, of course, about those details. So first of all, this study wouldn't be possible without the sponsors. So there's a big thank you, of course, to all the sponsors for this study. And we aim to bridge the knowledge gap between the vendors and what the vendors are doing and what the hotel chains are doing. So that's our really aim. And we also thank the hoteliers to provide feedback on the extensive questions that we have sent to them. Normally, the hotel chains receive around 34 questions, and they reply to all of these questions. This takes them a lot of time. So again, thank you very much. I know there are some hoteliers here in the room who have completed the research. And as pointed out, we have received 190 responses from 170 unique hotel chains. And we also conducted some interviews as well, but most of the responses are from online surveys. And as you can see here, the research covers 171 companies and around 1.2 million rooms worldwide. So it's quite relevant, and I hope you can use the results for your own implementation. And when we look specifically at the different regions, you can see the research responses are split into Europe, the Middle East, Africa region, APAC, and the Americas. And you can see that from the Middle East, Africa region, we have received feedback from almost 1,000 properties. So keep this in mind while I'm sharing the results with you now. And the respondent profiles were mainly around leadership areas like revenue management, commercial, chief commercial officers, as well as sales and marketing executives, 75%. Okay, so let's maybe come back to the discussion we had earlier in the larger room here. There is an optimistic view as well as a cautious approach for AI and automation. And we don't, this is also seen here in the region, but I have to say that the Middle East Africa region applies more AI applications already today than the average of the world. So I think that's a fact, and that's really important to realize. So there is this, I don't believe in AI will replace many job roles, for at least not in our industry. But also, I'm very cautious that maybe it will replace my tasks. So there are different point of views. Oops. And but the state of AI adoption is around 78% today, and in our industry, which is a lot, yeah, already. And so how does this come? This is because AI tools are being implemented in some of the vendor tools that the hotel chains are being using. But it's not own programming and so on. For some hotel chains, it's hybrid. But it's really important to recognize, well, that's what the hotels are anticipating. And lots of hotel chains are using, for instance, revenue management systems where AI tools are already embedded. And 90% of the hotel chains are planning adoption And then when we look at the most used AI applications today, these are chatbots and virtual assistants, which is no surprise, of course. But I will come back to that later. And the most planned application is customer data management with 50%. And where hotel chains see the most value in AI is in business intelligence and data analytics. How to read the data and so on. What have we done with the data in the past? Have we really used it? And here, there is an important fact that there is still a larger gap between trust in AI and the reliance in AI. So how much do I trust in AI? We have asked the hoteliers. And there is a 6.6 versus reliance in AI, so how do I really use it today, of 4.7 out of 10. So how can we bridge this gap? And hotel chains gave AI a global trust rating of 6.6 out of 10. I just mentioned it. So what was the rating in the Middle East Africa region? Do you know? Or just make a guess. Sorry? Who is A? Okay, who is B? And who is C? Okay, yeah. C is correct, actually. So it's one of the most advanced regions in this world at the moment, in our industry. Yeah, in our industry. So talking about the challenges. What are the biggest challenges hotel chains said? So there is a big challenge with AI expertise and skills. And especially also we found it here in the region. And with 62% saying that, and no clear AI strategy or roadmap is also an issue. We also found that in this region, the sharing of the data across departments and also the integration of systems in order to make AI happen is really a challenge today. And you are approaching this already here in the region more than in other regions, but we are still looking at this with more than 50% of the hotel chains saying that. And we also have high costs or budget constraints, which we also find here in the region. How much do I invest into AI and what is the return on investment? How do I measure it? Can I measure it? What are the tools to measure it? So I think this is important to realize when we talk about AI and how do we overcome these challenges. And the perceived value that the hotel chains told us, well, yes, you saw this, BI and data analytics, but then there is also chatbots and virtual assistants coming next, as well as digital marketing. And we just had the session about an area of digital marketing where we look at generative AI. Everybody talks about generative AI today. Content is king. We just heard it in the larger room. So yes, I also believe content is absolutely king. Yeah, so we have to have good content, and not only dynamic content, but static content, visual content, because if we don't have good content, then, or experience content, so how do we create experiences and how do we transform this into content that can be read by the AI tools? Yeah, so how do I overcome this? And I think these are challenges that we are facing and that we need to look at in our industry. Forecasting comes here, revenue management, guest engagement. So these are all value creators of our industry. And also even here, the payment fraud protection is coming up, as well as operations, housekeeping, of course. But we had more people from revenue management, commercial, and sales and marketing responding. That's why we don't have that many points maybe here for operations. But of course, it's very important in operations. So the data sharing remains a key challenge for scaling AI. And most of the hotel chains said we face barriers to effective data usage. So, I mean, you know maybe in your, from your experience, what are the barriers? Also in Middle East, cross-departmental data sharing remains a major obstacle. So this comes really first in the Middle East. I think more than half of the hotel chains said that this is the major issue here in this area. And then only 20% have a centralized data structure in place that feeds AI tools. But the question is, do we really need a centralized data structure anymore with the changing technology and the MCP platforms coming up? And this is something that we really need to question, because we always talked about, well, we need to have a centralized data structure, yes, but maybe we have more than one centralized data structure and can connect it in the future via MCP. Yeah? So this is something that the world is changing right now. Okay, how does your organization currently manage and share data for AI? A, we have a centralized database in place. Nobody? Okay. B, we are working on a centralized database. Okay. Nobody. And we are struggling with integration and data usage. Any hand? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so AI-driven applications mostly used. Automated guest communications is on top here. And of course, that's no surprise. But the planned part here with upselling and recommendations as well as personalized booking experience is very high. So look at the planned rate. More than 50% of the hotel chains are planning this. And which was actually quite low in the Middle East region was the in-room smart technology, for instance, but the sentiment analysis and the guest review processing is quite highly adapted. And I have to have a short look at my notes. Okay. So the top concerns regarding AI in guest services. Is the data correct? Is the feedback of the agent correct? So there is lots of the hotel chains said errors in AI-generated suggestions or decisions. Yeah, okay, yes, and how do we prove this? Loss or reduction of human interaction, that's as well something we discussed earlier. So how do we balance this? And then data security risks is less of an issue in the Middle East here, and lacking guest acceptance to use AI-powered services, maybe not so much, depending on the clientele you have. And then comes the revenue management challenges AI could solve. And the Middle East region actually said that the opportunity in demand identifying where do we have this? Identifying guest behavior patterns and demand shifts is actually on top here in this region, while the rest of the world says reducing manual workload through automation is something that we would like to see. So, but improved forecasting and revenue management is also top, advanced dynamic pricing and personalization strategies. And what is also interesting to know is that 44% expect revenue management to be fully automated within the next 5 years. And that does not only apply to revenue management, it also applies to call centers, for instance, and other areas of the business. So when it comes to the level of AI commercial integration, so how much is AI commercially integrated into hotel products and services today? And you can see here that, well, you don't see it on this slide maybe, but the Middle East region leads with some AI-driven features with almost 60%. So the commercial integration is quite high here. And then you can see also that AI is central to our business model and revenue generation. This is only 1% of the hotel chains said this today. Most of the hotel chains are here. They're using publicly available AI chatbots and limited use of experimental or project or pilot projects. And also here, some AI-driven features are integrated. As I just mentioned, the Middle East Africa region is at 60%, 60, versus the average of the world is at 35. What are the investment decision factors for AI? So how do we get along here? So on top is the easy integration with existing systems. And this does apply to the Middle East region as well. So how do I communicate with my tech stack? Do I look at my tech stack and how can I integrate AI into it if I don't have the centralized database structure in place? Then the reduction of manual tasks is also a value driver here. And the proven impact on revenue growth is, of course, important. Then only comes return on investment. And how do I measure return on investment? Then I will come to that. And data security and compliance with regulations is actually less an issue in the Middle East Africa region. It's more of an issue globally. And, of course, the ability to enhance the guest experience and personalization. So for the return on investment measurement for AI and automation projects, we actually asked the hotel chains, does your organization calculate return on investment for AI projects? And you can see here that 42%, they have no calculation of this in place at all, even if they are running pilot projects. So this is the state of the industry today. And I have to say that 72% of the Middle East region and Africa region hoteliers, they are said, yes, we do this, or they are building a framework. So here, again, the region is more advanced than global. And I'm skipping that. I don't think we have time for that. But the adoption, I just wanted to share with you the adoption of AI solution types, because we have AI assistants and AI agents. And you can see the total of the results as well as the Middle East and Africa region in comparison. And I find this quite interesting because, again, 30% of the hotel chains that replied here in the region are using AI agents today, versus 11% globally. So this is quite a good adaptation. And AI assistants are even used by 45%. Wow. So then, of course, return on investment and how do I track the return on investment becomes more important. And RPA, of course, not to forget about that, robotic process automation, is also an important area here with 37% using robotic process automation today. And how AI impacts staffing and training and job roles. So AI is actually seen as an enabler rather than a replacer today. So only, I think, only 13% of the hotel chains said we are reducing team sizes. So today, it's not really replacing jobs. It's enabling for creating more value. Okay. So, and finally, where is AI heading? Let's look at the innovation areas. And when we asked hotel chains, where do you see the most innovative areas in AI? Most of them said AI assistants. So, for example, tools for customers, but also tools for internal. Then generative AI with content creation. Then chatbots, then AI agents, then direct booking of local experiences is also important. And then comes digital identity verification, which in the Middle East region stands at 60%. And here AI agents, again, we see Middle East region at 71%. So again, this is, I don't think we have time for the conclusions, but you can come to me afterwards. I'm doing a round table, or 2 round tables, and we can discuss this later.
Amazing.
Thank you.